Chapter 1471. Likely not. If they were discovered, I think the police would be at our doorstep by now. Benjamin always had people keeping an eye on Regan. In case there was any movement, someone would report back to him. As soon as Bradley took the kids into Regan's house, Benjamin was notified. He didn't order the bodyguards to bring them back right away, giving them a chance to vent. Orissa looked at him in surprise. The police. They called the police, Benjamin admitted, stroking her head. The kids are quite clever, knowing how to disable the surveillance cameras. They couldn't find any evidence. Hearing that, Orissa nodded. I'll have to remind the children tomorrow not to mess around with such matters again. Even if I want to teach the York family a lesson, I'll do it in front of them. Benjamin tucked her in. Do you want supper, or do you want to sleep? Orissa didn't really feel like eating, but she was afraid she might wake up hungry in the middle of the night. So, she decided to eat something then. Just cook me a bowl of pasta. Don't make too much. Benjamin nodded. He got up and went downstairs to cook pasta for her. Seeing him enter the kitchen, Edwin hurried over. What would you like to eat, Mr. Graham? I'll prepare it for you. Edwin asked, stepping forward. No, it's okay. I can handle it myself. Go and rest. Edwin. Benjamin opened the fridge, looked at the ingredients, and took some out. Edwin chuckled. You're cooking for Mrs. Graham, huh? Well, I won't insist then. Just leave the kitchen as it is after you're done, Mr. Graham. I'll clean it up tomorrow. Benjamin turned around to look at the departing man, raising an eyebrow. Is it that obvious? After thoroughly washing the ingredients, he cut them on the cutting board and set them aside before boiling water. He made tomato soup, adding some milk to it. Only after tasting it did he add the pasta, followed by slices of fresh beef. With that, a bowl of savory tomato beef pasta was ready to be served. He poured it into a large bowl, then took a small bowl, fork, and spoon, placing them on the tray. He washed the pot thoroughly and tidied up the kitchen a bit. Then, he carried it upstairs. Remembering Orissa's recent craving for chili flakes, he turned back and got them for her. Before he even entered the room, Orissa could already smell the fragrance. Hunger hit her, and she sniffed deeply. Benjamin walked in to find her salivating. You're hungry? He asked with a smile. Orissa looked at him and smiled. The smell made me hungry. Do you want to eat in bed or on the couch? On the couch. Orissa sat up, but before she could get out of bed, she was stopped by the man. Mirth bubbled within her. It's just a short walk. Don't worry. She slipped on her shoes. Benjamin hurriedly placed the pasta on the coffee table, then turned around and strode over, picking her up and carrying her to the couch. Stop worrying, I'm already fine. Orissa felt quite speechless to see him still so concerned about her. Even so, you have to be careful. Benjamin sat her down at the side, took a small bowl, and ladled some soup. Have some soup first. Okay. Orissa took it and drank a sip. This is so fragrant. Did you add milk to it? Yeah. Benjamin watched her eat. Aren't you eating? Orissa asked, finishing the soup. You eat first. I'll have what's left. Benjamin took the bowl from her and served her some pasta. Chili flakes. Orissa pointed at the canister. Benjamin chuckled. I almost forgot to bring it earlier. If I had, would you have refused to eat? If so, I'll just make do. But it would be even better with some chili flakes. Orissa grinned, her eyes narrowing. Without it, the food just doesn't taste as good. Benjamin only added a small amount of chili flakes for her. You can't eat anything too spicy. Okay. Orissa nodded. Without waiting for him to finish stirring it, she took it from him and started eating. Then, she remarked, you should have grabbed an extra bowl. I'm not hungry. Benjamin looked at her with a smile. Chapter 1472. After finishing 2 bowls, Orissa felt full. She gestured towards the remaining pasta. I'm full. You can have the rest. Benjamin glanced at her and picked up the bowl, removing the ingredients inside. Have some more soup then. Amused, Orissa focused her gaze on him. The pasta doesn't taste as good when you pick out all the ingredients for me. Isn't there still some soup left? Come on, eat up. Benjamin handed it to her, urging her to eat more. A sense of sweetness enveloped Orissa, her smile genuine. "Thank you, darling." Likewise, a smile formed on Benjamin's lips. He leaned over and kissed her before picking up the large bowl of pasta and starting to cat. Orissa beamed at him. It would taste even better with a bit of chili flakes. Benjamin glanced at her, both amused and exasperated. "I actually like the way it tastes now. I'll pass on the chili flakes." Looking at him, Orissa teased, "Is it so hard for you to admit that your stomach is sensitive?" Benjamin remained still and stared at her. "There's nothing wrong with my stomach." Orissa rolled her eyes and grabbed the chili flakes. "Then, do you dare to eat chili flakes now?" Falling prey to his pride, Benjamin stood his ground. "Why wouldn't I dare?" He reached for it and was about to pour it in when Orissa quickly snatched it away, glaring at him fiercely. "I was joking, but you took it seriously. If you end up with an upset stomach, I'll be the one taking care of you." Benjamin chuckled, leaning over to whisper in her ear, "I was just joking with you too." Orissa looked at him skeptically. Not wanting to admit that he was only trying to save face, she agreed, "Right, you were just joking. Hurry up and eat your pasta." As Benjamin ate the pasta he had cooked himself, it didn't taste as good as when she made it. But under Orissa's watchful eye, he still finished it. Then, he took her bowl and stacked everything together. "Sit here and relax for a bit. I'll take the bowls and cutlery downstairs. Then, I'll come right back up." After reminding her to stay put, Benjamin took everything downstairs. Orissa's gaze followed the man's figure until he left the room. Only then did she divert her attention. Benjamin returned a short while later. Upon seeing her still sitting on the sofa, he breathed a sigh of relief. Noticing his reaction, Orissa teased him playfully, "Why are you so anxious? Am I that fragile?" "It's not that I'm anxious, but your situation is unique, and you must minimize movement as much as possible." Benjamin carried her back to the bed. Before even putting her down, he asked, "Do you need to use the bathroom?" Orissa laughed, wrapping her arms around his neck playfully. "I don't want to go now, but I might need to later." "Then, I'll carry you over later." Benjamin bent down and placed her on the bed, unfazed by the trouble. "Go and check if the children have gone to bed. Tuck them in. Jasper and Jesse have a habit of kicking off their blankets," Orissa instructed. She had wanted to go and see for herself earlier, but considering the fact that he would worry about her, she could only wait for him to come back upstairs. "Okay." Benjamin pulled the blanket over her before heading to the children's room to check on them. All 6 kids had fallen asleep while hugging each other, their faces pressed together as they slumbered deeply. With an incredibly gentle expression, Benjamin leaned over and tucked them in. He watched them for a moment before turning to leave, softly closing the door behind him. "Have they gone to bed?" Orissa asked as soon as she saw Benjamin return, her gaze fixed on the doorway. "They're all asleep, soundly resting," Benjamin replied. Noticing the smoky smell on his clothes, he changed. Once he lay down, Orissa turned over and snuggled into his arms, taking a moment to breathe him in. "Why did you change your clothes?" Benjamin held her in his arms, his gaze tender. "Didn't you smell the smoky scent on me just now?" Orissa gave him a look, torn between amusement and exasperation. "You only made pasta. How could there be any smoky smell?" But there was definitely a milky scent. At her words, Benjamin's thoughts inevitably wandered. He leaned in and whispered into her ear, "The milky scent on you smells good." Chapter 1473. Upon hearing Benjamin's suggestive voice, Orissa blushed, her face buried in his chest, feeling a burning sensation. Benjamin's eyes blazed with passion as he kissed her ear, then moved to her face and finally her lips. After a moment of intimate restraint, Benjamin finally let go of her, not daring to go any further. "Good night," his hoarse voice echoed in Orissa's ear, causing her heart to race uncontrollably. "Good night." Orissa's fluttering eyelashes made her look even more charming. Benjamin held her in his arms, resting his chin on her shoulder blade, his breath slightly rapid. Orissa's ears turned red, as the man's passionate demeanor ignited a fire within her. I need to use the bathroom." She gently nudged him, urging him to release his hold on her. Benjamin lowered his eyes, fixing his scorching gaze on her blushing face as if he wanted to devour her. Orissa calmly shifted her gaze and looked away. Benjamin opened the blanket and carried her in his arms to the bathroom. "Go out first." Orissa glanced at him, then quickly looked away. "Hurry up." Benjamin cleared his throat lightly and turned away. The corners of Orissa's mouth twitched slightly. With no other choice, she quickly attended to her needs. Listening to the movements behind him, Benjamin lowered his gaze and suppressed the desire welling within him. "I'm done," Orissa prompted, flushing the toilet. Benjamin turned back around, scooped her up bridal style, and started walking out of the bathroom. Orissa was taken aback. "I haven't washed my hands yet." His brows furrowing, Benjamin strode over to the bed and placed her down before he whirled around and went back into the bathroom, bringing a basin of water for her to wash her hands. "Wipe your own hands." He handed her a few tissues, then carried the water back into the bathroom. With a hint of urgency, he closed the door behind him. Orissa blinked, realizing belatedly what the man was doing inside. Her face instantly turned bright red. She covered her face with both hands and kneaded it a few times before turning over to sleep. After waiting for a while with no signs of Benjamin coming out, she curiously peeked at the bathroom again. Just then, the man came out. Their eyes met, and she quickly averted her gaze, hiding under the blanket. Benjamin paused for a moment. He turned off the lights and returned to bed. "You're waiting for me." It was uncertain if it was due to her heightened sense of smell from her pregnancy or the recent intimacy they shared, but Orissa detected a hint of muskiness on him. The tips of Orissa's ears turned red. Yeah, to avoid any awkwardness, she didn't ask him what he was doing in the bathroom. Benjamin pulled the blanket over and draped it over both of them, resting his chin atop her head. "Go ahead and sleep." After a while, Orissa was still awake and knew that the same went for him. She asked softly, "Are you asleep?" "No." Benjamin rubbed against her hair, his voice languid. "Why don't you move over to the other side?" Orissa's voice became a mere whisper. Benjamin lifted her chin and gazed deeply into her eyes with a hint of captivating wickedness. "Why?" "No reason. How could I possibly sleep when you're holding me so tightly?" Orissa replied with a pout, her gaze shifting. Benjamin burst into laughter. His deep laughter was particularly enticing. Orissa's heartbeat accelerated even more, her heart thumping so loudly that she could hear it herself. Benjamin placed his large hand on her chest, somewhat deliberately. "Your heart is beating so fast." Orissa slapped his hand away, then pushed him aside, rolling over to sleep on the side. Benjamin looked at the back of her head in amusement. "Come and sleep over here." "No." Orissa pulled the blanket over her head, trying to calm the wild thoughts in her mind. "If you don't move over, you'll roll off the bed when you turn in the night." Benjamin poked her arm, noticing she was precariously perched on the edge of the bed. Orissa ignored him. In the next moment, she was lifted into the air, carried back to the center of the bed by the man. "Just go to sleep like this. It's really late." Benjamin held her in his arms and gently caressed the back of her head, his deep voice tender and indulgent. Chapter 1474. At the police station, Regan was furious that no substantial evidence had been found. "Clearly, someone broke into our house and destroyed it. How is it possible that there has been no progress? Expand the search radius for suspects. We apologize, Mr. York. We will definitely continue the investigation. However, the surveillance cameras in and around your house are all out of order at the moment. We still need time to restore them. We will notify you as soon as there is any news." The investigation team had yet to restore the surveillance footage, so there was hardly any information available. What about fingerprints? The culprits must have left fingerprints when they entered our house. Heather was furious, wanting nothing more than for the suspects to be apprehended immediately. She added, "They even used snakes to scare me. It's despicable. Officer, you must arrest them and bring them to justice. Please calm down. We will thoroughly investigate all of this. However, you haven't provided any useful leads, and we're at a loss. We've collected fingerprints at the scene, but there were none. The culprits are very cunning." The police explained. Heather hadn't seen the perpetrator, no fingerprints were collected, and the surveillance cameras were all out of order. In other words, there was nothing to be done. How long will the investigation take? Regan's face was as black as thunder. Don't tell me that my cherished collections are ruined for nothing. Perhaps you can think about it more and see if you might have offended anyone recently, the police suggested again. Among the people Regan thought of was Benjamin, but he didn't dare mention it, only providing a few names. They're completely lawless, darling. Would they commit murder next time? Heather lamented to Regan. Everyone else who heard that was rendered speechless. Murder. It's clear they were just trying to scare you all. Go home first. We'll notify you as soon as there's any news. After handing them a copy of the report, the police officer walked away to attend to other matters. Regan and Heather had no choice but to return home. Heather looked at Regan. Darling, do you think Benjamin could be responsible for our house's destruction? Your mother caused a scene at their house, and our house got trashed that night. Could it be them? Having experienced Benjamin's formidability, Heather felt a pang of fear. She continued, if all else fails, we should just move houses. Benjamin probably wouldn't deal with us in such a way. Go upstairs and rest. I still need to make a trip to the company. Regan didn't think it was likely and notified her before he left for the office. As Heather recalled the snakes in the house, it still gave her the creeps, and she didn't dare go in. I'll go with you to the office. Why would you do that? Regan roared, overwhelmed by his recent troubles. Don't dare go in, I'm afraid of snakes. Just bring me to your office. You can go about your business without worrying about me. Mira isn't home either, and I'm scared to be home alone. Heather refused to get out of the car. Miranda had left to stay at a hotel when they rushed to the police station to lodge a report. In the end, Regan had no choice but to take her with him to the company. Why didn't you mention following me to the office when we were at the police station earlier? You're only telling me now, making me waste a trip back here for nothing. I thought you were going home too. Locked up in the police station, Finley thought she heard her son's voice. But after waiting for a long time without anyone coming to let her out, she kicked up a fuss. I want to get out. I need to get out. What's all the noise about? It's late, so keep it down. The officer came over and chastised. Has my son come to take me home? Where is he? Finley asked anxiously. After being locked up all day, she looked no better than a beggar right then, disheveled and in a pitiful state. Your son wasn't here to take you home. They've already left, so stop making a fuss. The other party warned before walking away. Finley couldn't believe it. She cried out, You're lying to me. How could my son not take me home? I want to see my son. Regan, I'm here. Quick, take me home. For the entire night, there was no peace to be found at the police station. Chapter 1475. Bright and early the next day, Keegan, accompanied by Beatrice and their son Michael, arrived at Yaleview. Upon seeing them, Edwin tactfully declined on behalf of Benjamin, If you wish to meet Mr. Graham, please make an appointment at the company. He's not receiving guests and is currently resting, so I suggest you head back. Go and announce our arrival. Let them know that the mayor's family is here for a visit. Beatrice commanded Edwin, her voice filled with arrogance. Edwin glanced at her, feeling a sense of disdain deep within his heart. However, he also felt sympathy for Orissa. What kind of people were Mrs. Graham's family members in the past? Why did they keep coming here to cause trouble? Keegan gently pulled Beatrice aside and spoke to Edwin in a calm and pleasant tone. Sir, we apologize for the inconvenience. We are here to sincerely apologize. My child was in the wrong yesterday. We'll wait here until they wake up. We apologize for coming too early and disturbing you. If you all wish to wait, then wait. Mr. and Mrs. Graham haven't even gotten out of bed yet. Edwin glanced at them. Seeing that his words had no effect, he didn't bother anymore. If they wanted to wait, they could wait. Either way, without Benjamin's permission, he wouldn't let these people in. No worries, we'll wait. Sorry to bother you, Keegan responded agreeably, not objecting at all. Bring them a few stools and prepare some tea. Edwin instructed the bodyguard at the door before heading inside. After all, Keegan was the mayor. They couldn't afford to neglect him too much. Edwin entered the residence and saw that Darius had already gotten up. He quickly went to make tea for the elderly man. "Who's outside?" Darius glanced at Edwin and asked. "It's the newly appointed mayor, Keegan Lord." Edwin told Darius. "He said he came to apologize, but I didn't let them in." After some thought, Darius said to Edwin, "Please invite them in. They've come all the way here early in the morning, so we can't let things get too ugly. We'll have plenty of interactions in the future." Edwin hesitated. "But what about Mr. Graham?" The old man waved his hand. "Go invite them quickly. Don't worry about Benjamin getting angry. I'll handle him." Seeing that Darius had spoken, Edwin had no choice but to go out and invite Keegan and his family in. "Mr. Lord, this way, please." Edwin led them into the house. "Mr. Lord, please have a seat." Darius didn't stand up. He simply gestured for them to sit, welcoming them with a wave of his hand. Edwin brewed a fresh pot of tea for them again. Keegan nodded, stepped forward, and respectfully greeted Darius. "Hello, Commander Graham." Darius waved his hand as he leaned on his cane, sizing them up. "I'm no longer a commander. Just call me old Mr. Graham." Keegan chuckled and, heeding the old man's words, changed his greeting and greeted Darius again. Beatrice also chimed in. "Hello, old Mr. Graham. Please, have a seat." Darius beckoned. Keegan gestured to Beatrice to sit down with their son before he began to exchange pleasantries with Darius. Beatrice sat to one side with her son, taking in the extremely exquisite decor of the mansion. She was quite taken aback by the opulence of the place. She glanced upstairs, where all was peaceful and quiet. In truth, she never imagined that Arissa could marry into such a wealthy family. "Please, have a seat. I'm a bit tired and need to rest," Darius said to Keegan and the others before heading upstairs. "All right." Keegan stood up, ready to assist the elderly man. "No need, I can still walk. You all have some tea and snacks. These young ones won't be up this early." The old man waved his hand dismissively and headed upstairs on his own. Edwin had the housekeepers attend to them while he busied himself with his own matters. Mary had no idea who the guests in the living room were, and she generally wouldn't go over there anyway. She just stayed in the kitchen, lending a hand. Seeing Edwin muttering as he came in, she asked, "Edwin, who are those people?" "They're all here to make things worse," Edwin grumbled, venting his frustration to Mary. "That's the mayor's family. Their son was bullying the kids at school just yesterday." Chapter 1476. No need, just let them be. We're already being generous by allowing them into the living room for tea. That woman is Mrs. Graham's mother, but she abandoned Mrs. Graham a long time ago to get married. Neither Mr. Graham nor Mrs. Graham wants to see them, yet they still come to our house. Edwin explained their relationship to Mary. Mary glanced at the living room and noticed Beatrice's haughty and difficult demeanor, so she didn't ask any more questions. She just hoped they would have the decency to leave on their own. Gavin and the others should be getting up soon, right? After a while, Mary glanced toward the living room and muttered to Edwin, "Why haven't they left yet?" Edwin chuckled. "These people have no shame. Even if we try to drive them away, they won't leave that easily. Don't worry about them. I'm going upstairs to see if the kids are awake yet. Hurry up, I'll keep an eye on the pot." Mary was making some snacks that the children and Arissa all loved to eat. Got it. Edwin wanted to go up and see if Benjamin had woken up so that he could give him a heads up. Edwin ascended to the second floor through the side door, first stopping at the entrance to the master bedroom. He gently called out, "Mr. Graham." Edwin stood at the door for a while, hearing no response. He listened carefully again but still heard no movement. Realizing that Benjamin and Arissa were still not up, he then turned and headed toward the children's bedroom. The children were already up and getting dressed. "Good morning, kids." Edwin went over to dress Jessie. "Did you all sleep well last night?" "Mr. Whitley, I had a wonderful dream last night where I was eating a big grilled chicken wing." Jessie even used her hands to show Edwin how big it was. Edwin couldn't help but laugh, fondly patting her head. "You're craving grilled wings, aren't you? I'll grill some for you in a bit." "Wow." Jessie was overjoyed and gave Edwin a kiss on the cheek. "Thank you, Mr. Whitley." Will my brothers get some too? Yes, they'll all get some. Edwin responded with a laugh. Seeing the children happy, he couldn't help but feel overjoyed as well. Kids, we have guests downstairs. Edwin hurriedly informed them as he was tidying their clothes. Who is it? Gavin asked, looking at Edwin. He was already dressed and ready. Tim, Zachary, Oliver, and Jasper all turned their attention to Edwin, their curiosity piqued. It's Mr. Lord, the mayor. His family is downstairs. They said they've come to apologize to you. Edwin gently patted their heads as he spoke softly. The children all frowned in unison, their faces full of distaste. They have the audacity to show up here. How shameless! Zachary exclaimed. I wonder if Mommy and Mr. Graham are up yet. How could those people come to our house so early in the morning? It really ruins the mood. Jasper sat on the edge of the bed, swinging his little legs as he grumbled. I just went to call your father, it seems he's still not up. Edwin said with a chuckle. Why don't you all stay upstairs for now instead of going down? If you're hungry, I can bring you something to eat. No need, we're not afraid of them. Oliver put on his glasses, his lips curling slightly in a refined manner. Let's wait until Mommy wakes up and then let her know the situation. Tim suggested as he looked at them. Those people can easily ruin Mommy's mood. We need to protect Mommy well. At that moment, Benjamin appeared at the doorway of the children's room. What are you all chatting about? Are you ready? I'll take you to school in a bit. Benjamin hadn't washed his face yet. He had just woken up and came straight over to see if the children were up. Hence, his hair was a bit messy. We're all set. Gavin took in his father's just awakened appearance and urged him, Daddy, you should go wash your face. There are people waiting for you downstairs. If you don't take care of them soon, Mommy will see them when she wakes up, and it will affect her mood. Benjamin's brows furrowed in confusion as he watched them, his gaze sharp and penetrating. Who is it? Chapter 1477. Mr. Graham, Mr. Lord and his family have arrived. Edwin hurriedly approached Benjamin to inform him. They are waiting in the living room. A look of disgust flashed in Benjamin's eyes, but he didn't reprimand Edwin. I'll go down in a moment. Edwin glanced at him, secretly letting out a sigh of relief. Once Benjamin left, the 6 children surrounded Edwin. Mr. Whitley, why did you let them in? You should have kept them out and not allowed them to come to our house. It's a good thing Mr. Graham. Daddy didn't get angry with you just now. Edwin was caught between laughter and tears, patting the children on their heads. He replied, It was your grandfather who asked me to invite them in. I didn't want to let them in either. Darius' orders were not to be disobeyed, yet he only sat for a while before returning to his room. As Grandpa entertaining them downstairs, Gavin asked, looking at Edwin with a frown. Old Mr. Graham has gone back to his room to rest. Edwin said with a laugh. Let's go see Grandpa first. With that said, the 6 children all ran off to find their grandfather. Edwin shook his head with a smile, tidied up the children's room, and placed their backpacks neatly on the beds. Only then did he turn around and head downstairs to get busy. After Benjamin finished freshening up and changing his clothes, he leaned over to give Arissa a kiss before leaving the room. The children were playing around in Darius' room. He walked over and said, You guys should go down and have breakfast. Those people are still down there. Zachary reminded him. Don't mind them. Benjamin was busy fastening his cuffs. He had other matters to attend to and had no time to entertain those people. You should talk things out properly. A little compromise will do. It's best not to make things too awkward, Darius advised Benjamin, mentally lamenting how his son was always so rough in his actions. I just saw that child. He was beaten quite badly, with bruises all over. Gavin, Tim, Zachary, Oliver, and Jasper all felt a bit embarrassed at the same time. They said to him, Grandpa, we were the ones who hit him. They're all just superficial injuries. Darius chuckled, then said to the children, I know. I don't blame you. The children snickered, exchanging glances, and couldn't help but laugh at each other again. Benjamin glanced at them, then turned to leave, saying, I'll go send them away. After taking a few steps forward, he urged the children again, Come down for breakfast quickly. It's time for school, and you'll be late if you don't hurry. Keegan and Beatrice, sitting in the living room with their son, felt somewhat awkward. After all, no one from the host's family had come to welcome them. Do you think they're deliberately not coming down? Beatrice whispered to Keegan. Keegan scolded her. Don't talk nonsense. Let's just wait and see. Beatrice had no choice but to keep quiet, feeling a surge of resentment in her heart. Naturally, her expression didn't look too pleasant either. We're here to apologize, not to pick a fight. Keegan reminded her, seeing the disapproval written all over her face. Benjamin descended from upstairs, each step deliberate and unhurried. His tall figure exuded an extraordinary sense of nobility. Upon seeing this, Keegan quickly stood up. Good morning, Mr. Graham. Sorry for the disturbance. Beatrice also instinctively stood up, greeting Benjamin. Good morning, Mr. Graham. Benjamin glanced at the entire family, his handsome face cold. Mr. Lord, I made myself clear on the phone yesterday. What brings you here so early today? Keegan gave an awkward smile. Well, it's always better to apologize face to face. It's my Mikey who was in the wrong. Are the children awake yet? He wants to apologize to them. Keegan pulled his son closer. Michael was still nibbling on some snacks, his little face looking even more pitiful today. Benjamin walked downstairs and approached them. There's no need. Yesterday's issues have already been resolved. If people didn't know better, they might think we were bullying you into coming here to apologize. Mr. Lord, there's no need to make a big deal out of it. We'll leave after we apologize, Keegan said with an awkward smile. Chapter 1478. Upon seeing Benjamin's arrogant demeanor, Beatrice's expression turned grim. However, after being warned by Keegan several times, she dared not lash out and could only suppress her anger deep within. Are the young ones still not awake? Keegan asked again, maintaining a smile on his face to avoid any awkwardness. Benjamin glanced at them and took a seat on the couch, unleashing his powerful aura, which intimidated them. Keegan and Beatrice found themselves in an awkward situation, unsure whether to sit or stand. Sitting down would seem presumptuous as Benjamin had not invited them to do so. Yet, standing there made them feel like primary school students receiving a lecture. They haven't come down yet. Benjamin responded after a while, clearly showing his disinterest in engaging in much conversation with them. Keegan gave a strained smile, then boldly tugged Beatrice to sit down. Beatrice glanced at Benjamin and asked, "Is Issa still sleeping?" Benjamin cast a cold, detached gaze at her, his eyes filled with icy aloofness. Keegan subtly tapped her leg, signaling her to stop talking recklessly. Beatrice's eyes flashed as she was surprised by Benjamin's lack of respect. She picked up the supplements from the side and placed them on the coffee table. These are for Issa. Women should always pay attention to replenishing their blood. With a cold laugh, Benjamin said, "Mrs. Lord, you should take these things back and use them yourself. My wife can't handle such extravagance. I've already bought them. As her mother, I care for her. How could I take them away? Once she's run out, I'll buy her more." Beatrice shamelessly wanted to use this connection to get closer to Benjamin. If you truly cared about her, you wouldn't have waited until today to show it. Now that I'm here to protect her, it doesn't matter whether anyone else cares or not. Benjamin said acidly, not leaving her any dignity. Beatrice's expression changed into a tense and uncomfortable one. What do you mean I only care about her now? I've always cared about her. She's my daughter, so how could I not? I know she blames me, but I had my difficulties back then. I'm not asking for her forgiveness, but you can't stop me from caring about my daughter, can you? Mrs. Lord, I must ask you to leave. We have no desire to be involved with you in any way. Benjamin stood up, effectively showing her the door. His handsome face was clouded with an unparalleled sternness. Keegan reprimanded Beatrice with a sentence, "Are we here to apologize or to argue?" He quickly stood up and said to Benjamin, "Indeed, she has done wrong by Issa, but it's normal for her to care about Issa as a mother. We understand if you don't like hearing this, Mr. Graham. We didn't come here today with any other intentions. We just want Mikey to sincerely apologize to your sons. After all, they will be attending the Same school and we'll see each other often. Let's just consider this a childish squabble and move on. At that moment, Gavin, Zachary, Tim, Oliver, Jasper, and Jesse came down, led by Darius. Daddy, let's go have breakfast, Gavin called out loudly on purpose. Upon seeing the little ones coming down, Keegan nodded at Benjamin and quickly led Beatrice and Michael over. Mikey, quickly apologize to them properly. From now on, when you meet, you should be good friends. Stop arguing, understand? Michael pouted in response but was nudged forward by Keegan from behind. Thus, he stepped up to apologize to Gavin and the others. I'm sorry. The 6 little ones looked at him, showing no reaction. I'm truly sorry. Mikey is still young and immature. Let me also apologize to all of you, Keegan said, squatting down to talk to the children. Oh, Jasper responded, your son's apology is accepted, but whether we can be friends with him is our choice to make. I understand, Keegan smiled at the little ones, then stood up and said to Darius, we won't disturb you any longer. We'll be going now. Why not join us for breakfast? Darius asked. No need, we've already eaten. Old Mr. Graham, we're leaving. Keegan bid them farewell before leading Beatrice away. Darius nodded, indicating that he was merely asking out of politeness, not out of any sincere desire to invite them to join him for breakfast. Chapter 1479. Darius had Edwin see their guests off while he took the children to the dining room for breakfast. Goodbye, and don't bother coming back next time. My mommy doesn't want to see you, Zachary shouted towards the door. Keegan paused for a moment, then quickly left with Beatrice. Benjamin glanced at the children and reminded them, hurry up and have your breakfast. You're going to be late. The children hurried off to the kitchen, with Darius closely following behind them, occasionally reminding them, slow down. Upon reaching the dining room, they turned around only to find Benjamin missing. All 6 of them looked utterly bewildered. Where's Daddy? Darius glanced around, not seeing Benjamin. Never mind him, let's eat. The children even ran to invite Mary for breakfast. Mary came out with the housekeepers, carrying breakfast. Jesse looked at the food and pouted. Mr. Whitley promised to make us grilled wings. He lied. No, he didn't. The grilled wings are still inside, I'll go get them. Mary patted the little girl's head. You guys start with the oatmeal porridge. The children clapped their hands in excitement, cheering, time for grilled wings. Sit down quickly and start with the oatmeal porridge. Darius served the children a bowl, each before waiting for Mary to come out and join them for breakfast. Great-grandaunt, it's time to eat breakfast. Okay, Mary responded before glancing towards the living room. Wasn't Benjamin just here? Why hasn't he come for breakfast? I have no idea where he's gone, but there's no need to wait for him. Let's eat. Darius urged her to sit down. All 6 children obediently took their seats and began to eat their breakfast. Tim looked at Mary. Great-grandaunt, did you save any of these for Mommy? I saved some for her. I even kept 2 chicken wings for her, Mary said with a smile. She served one to each of the children and also to Darius before sitting down to join them for breakfast. Mommy has 2. The little girl's eyes crinkled with laughter, brimming with joy. Jasper looked at her and said, Mommy has our siblings in her belly, so she needs to eat more. She should have 5. Oliver chuckled. If Mommy eats that many, she won't have room for anything else. Mommy has a fast metabolism, she can easily eat 10 of anything she likes. Zachary joked while nibbling on a chicken wing. Tim chimed in, Mommy can always save some if she can't finish them. She can then eat them when she's hungry again. Mommy hasn't gotten up yet. I guess she'll be having breakfast and lunch together. Gavin looked at his younger siblings with a smile curving the corners of his mouth. Seeing Edwin returning, he waved and called out, Mr. Whitley, come have breakfast quickly. We're almost done with the chicken wings you made. Darius looked over and urged Edwin, come over and have breakfast. Where is Mr. Graham? Edwin hurried over, and upon not seeing Benjamin around, he asked. He must have gone upstairs. Let's just eat and not worry about him. Darius beckoned him to sit down. Edwin asked the housekeepers and confirmed that another portion had been left for Orissa before he started eating. They've left, and they didn't look too happy. Edwin reported to Darius. It's no surprise they're upset. However, they brought it upon themselves. Darius huffed. His son had made things perfectly clear, yet they still came here. Wasn't that just stirring up trouble? Pay more attention to the media for the next few days. Darius ordered Edwin. Edwin nodded. Meanwhile, the person who had been the center of attention was currently in the bedroom. Benjamin remained by the bedside, watching Marissa sleep until it was about time to leave. He then gently tucked in the corner of the blanket. Before taking the kids to school, in the back seat, the children were giggling and laughing at something, though it was unclear what it was. What are you guys looking at? Benjamin glanced at the rearview mirror and then asked the children. The 6 children quickly sat up straight, unanimously exclaiming, "We aren't looking at anything." Benjamin was left speechless. Chapter 1480. Benjamin questioned the children as they waited at the intersection. What were you guys doing at Regan's mansion last night? The 6 little ones were taken aback, not expecting to be discovered by Benjamin. How did you know? Zachary asked curiously, looking at Benjamin. Benjamin glanced at the little one in the rearview mirror, his thin lips curling up slightly. GPS trackers. Zachary slapped his forehead, annoyed. I forgot to block that. Ever since they were kidnapped, their father had placed undetectable trackers on them. Benjamin chuckled lightly. And don't forget your bodyguards. We managed to ditch our bodyguards yesterday. Oliver froze, then looked at Benjamin in surprise. There were other bodyguards following us. Benjamin raised an eyebrow, surprised at how quickly Oliver arrived at that conclusion. However, the secret bodyguard wouldn't easily reveal himself. What did you all do there? Benjamin pressed, intending to relay the information to Arissa later. The little ones looked at each other before Jesse said to Benjamin, Gavin and the others just went to teach them a lesson. They didn't do anything. Benjamin looked at Gavin, who pouted and confessed honestly, aren't they greedy for money? We just caused a little havoc to teach them a lesson so they won't continue to bother mommy. Aren't you afraid they'll easily suspect you? Benjamin asked as he saw the light turn green and steered the car toward the school. No way, we're just kids. How could they possibly suspect us? Even if they did suspect our family, they'd think of you. But even then, they wouldn't dare do anything. Gavin appeared somewhat smug at what they had done, not worried in the slightest that Regan would suspect them. A twitch tugged at the corner of Benjamin's mouth. Am I supposed to thank them for being such good sons? Gavin and the others went to teach the bad guys a lesson. Besides, the things there technically belong to mommy. So they're not really destroying those mean people's stuff, they're messing with mommy's things. Mr. Graham, please don't punish Gavin and the rest. Fearing that Benjamin might punish them, Jessie quickly tried to make excuses for her brothers. Did you also participate? Benjamin teased his daughter. The young girl blinked, glanced left and right at her brothers, then defended herself. I was at home all night yesterday. I didn't participate in anything. Mr. Graham, you shouldn't falsely accuse me. A light smile played on Benjamin's lips when he heard that. After arriving at the school, he got out of the car and opened the back door, watching as the little ones got out. Sure, I cannot punish you guys. Even your mommy won't punish you. Gavin, Tim, Oliver, Zachary, Jesse, and Jasper all lifted their heads to juke at him, instinctively feeling that he had more to say. Mr. Graham, you haven't finished speaking yet, have you? Jesse blinked and asked. With a slight curve of his lips, Benjamin lifted the little girl out of the car, then picked up her backpack and secured it on her shoulders. That's right. Benjamin nodded. What do you want to say? Jasper couldn't help but ask further. Just call me, Daddy. And I won't punish you. Benjamin laid down this condition to the little ones. He never really intended to punish them. It was just that when the little girl brought it up, he saw an opportunity to gain something from them. The children glanced at each other. That wasn't too difficult to do, but they weren't quick to agree either. Are you sure mommy won't punish us either? Jessie blinked, thinking this was a good deal. All she had to do was call him Daddy, and no one would be punished. I'm sure, Benjamin earnestly replied. Jessie flashed him a smile, her voice soft and sweet as she called out, Daddy, Benjamin's eyes widened, a mix of surprise and delight shining in them. Yes? He responded cheerfully, fondly patting the little girl's head. Then, he turned his gaze to the other 5. Jesse has already called you, Daddy. What more do you want? You better keep your word. Gavin ruthlessly shattered his father's fantasy.